True transformation, it isn't about grand gestures or even these once-in-a-while efforts. You probably know what I'm talking about there. But it's built on the small, consistent actions that you take every day. And sometimes they may seem a little bit mundane, but when you add up that consistency over time, some amazing things can happen. Determination, that's the key, this will and persistence to lasting health goals. So it's not about just making this big effort once in a while. A lot of times we do that when it comes to our health and fitness, where we get on a thing and we're all in until we're not. We kind of drift off course. So with this and with just the small, consistent daily actions, they don't even have to be small necessarily, just consistent. Just those everyday actions add up over time. So we're going to talk about that today on today's podcast. But when you are ready to make a commitment and take things to the next level on your journey, and you're ready to transform your habits, head over to talktoperry.com. I'm here to help you build and maintain the routines that will make a difference for you in your life. Because in the beginning, just like James Clear says from Atomic Habits, in the beginning, it's more important to develop the habits than it is to see the results. And I know we want those results fast, right? Well, I'm going to help you really accelerate that. TalkToPerry.com. So to build consistency, and it really starts with this understanding of what drives you. And a lot of times people don't get clear on this. They say, well, I want to lose the beer gut. That's where I was. I want to just lose the beer gut, or I want to just lose some weight and tone up. But when you're clear and knowing your why, the deep-seated reason why that you really want to improve your health goals, something that's going to keep you going when times get tough, and you will face obstacles. See, a lot of times people will start their journey and then they just can't. It's like they're just waiting for those obstacles to happen to let themselves off the hook. But if you shift that mindset of yours to say, I'm waiting for the obstacles so I can prove to myself I'm going to surpass them and still go after my goals anyway, no matter what the circumstance. That gives, and that why, it's going to give you a deeper reason to power through those moments, especially when motivation fades. A lot of people try to give credit to motivation, and they put a lot of energy into it, and if it's either there or it's not there, and a lot of times it's not there, so they give up and give in, but not you. You're like, you know what? Motivation might not be there. If I can't be motivated, at least I'm going to be disciplined and I'm going after it. And the next one is just to look at your goal and really break it down. What does Chalene Johnson call it, and a few others have called it reverse engineering, breaking it down into smaller steps. You don't need to know how to get to that big, huge goal of yours. You just need to know what do you need to do to get to the next base camp? What is that next level? So for me, when I was starting, or even when I think about, let me go with my friend Judy. My friend Judy was like, just the next 2 pounds. That's all I need to focus on is the next 2 pounds. And that's all she did. Didn't worry about, because she wanted to lose 200. So for me, it was, I just wanted to be consistent with my exercise. I didn't even step on a scale. But when I got consistent with my exercise and I used the habits, and I used the habits to show up, and I recognized when I was trying to get myself off the hook and make myself a false promise that I would make up for it on the weekend, but then I stopped and I just did it anyway on that day that I was supposed to, I broke the habit of letting myself off the hook into procrastination, into false promises. I broke that habit of trying to get into that, because those would have ended up of me eventually quitting again. So just setting those micro goals, they're really easy to manage. You can focus, get that consistent effort, and you don't need these, to rely on sudden bursts of energy to just get up and going. What I actually did, I created myself a no matter what contract, where it was like I showed up for my workout and did at least 10, I think it was 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I had to show up for 15 minutes. If I wasn't into it, if I was feeling off, if I really didn't want to work out that day, if I was overworked or overwhelmed, I showed up anyway, at least for 15 minutes. And then I could call it a day. And almost every time, just showing up, I got the 15 minutes, and then I continued with the rest of it. Okay? But I gave myself a little safety net there. But it was just that thing of just showing up. and celebrating the wins. I mean, each small success, it builds upon the confidence and it reinforces your determination to keep going, right? A lot of times we don't see the wins. Sometimes we rely on the wins to be the scale, right? But there's so many other wins. For me, it was belt loop notches. I was feeling more energy. I was feeling happier. I wanted to do more things. I felt more productive. There were all these other things I could recognize without having to validate myself on the scale. Now, the scale is just a tool, but a lot of times people invest their worth on, not invest their worth, but they put a lot of stock into that number. When there's so many other wins going on, they're stronger in their reps. They're doing more push-ups. They're be able to crank out more sit-ups. They're actually showing up consistently. Those things, and one of the most effective ways to stay on track, and that's another thing, is just to stay on track with a routine, or stay on track with your plan, is to create routines. Routines are your friend, and I know they can sound like boring, right? But they give you the plan. So this was the deal for me. I needed a routine that I could get around, and what I realized was I was floundering when I went to a gym. Now, I love the gym now, but I floundered at the beginning, and I just needed somebody to tell me what to do, what the exercises were. I needed to I took out all the variables that led to excuses for me, and just showed up in front of my TV, put in a little tape, push play, and the trainer just trained me right there. That took the guesswork out. It gave me a routine. My routine was I got home from a long day of work after an hour commute, and instead of sitting down and chilling out, I went and hit the gym, which was a small section of my back bedroom. And I created that routine, took the guesswork out. It kept me moving forward. So, I mean, if you want to, here's one thing, just set aside the same time. That's what I did. I locked in the same time. I realized I was trying to fit it in. Like, no, this is my exercise time. I just extended my workday a little bit. It made it part of my routine, just like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast, on a consistent basis. That consistency, it breeds success. It reduces it reduces the need to tap into and rely on daily motivation, right? And so I realized I took responsibility. I stopped pointing the fingers at the reasons why I couldn't succeed and said, you know what, I'm the reason why I can. And I'm the reason that nobody's going to show up and do this for me, right? And so when it comes to keeping your energy high, staying committed, I mean, let's talk. Let's help you recharge, boost that mental and physical battery of yours, help you maintain the momentum, not rely on motivation, because it is finding a balance between effort, rest, and I'm here to help you guide through it. TalkToPerry.com is where you can find, and we can have a conversation about that, because just think, and remember, that the key to lasting change and this health consistency and getting transformation is those daily choices that lead to big changes over time. It's the consistent habits. Sticking with your routine, staying focused on your goals, keeping that in mind, posting it all over the place, reminding yourself, not just I wish and hope and pray, but I'm actually going after this no matter what. You will see the results you're looking for, and there'll probably be results that will blow you away and create other opportunities for setting other goals that you would have never thought possible maybe a year prior. Consistency is not about, consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. So if you think persistence instead of perfection, progress over perfection, you probably heard that before, and you keep showing up, you're going to build those habits, those healthy habits that totally change yourself and change you for life, not just a temporary thing. So you're trying to get in shape for a wedding or an event of any sort, but for life. But just know you can choose to use your power and take control, or you can let the excuses and justifications and rationalizations, defending limitations. Why do I always feel like I got a box when I do that? You can let those control you and drain your power. It really boils down to deciding and committing to yourself and your goals, and choosing to figure out new ways, looking at possibilities, learning and growing, and keep moving forward. You've got this, my friend. I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today. You can drop those right down in the comments. We can have a little conversation about those. If there was some sort of big aha, drop that in. I'd love to hear from you. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to UpsideDownFit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find this show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.